What's going on, everybody? It's your boys over no days. Ooh. Whoa. Let's try that again. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe Notice off DFS here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the 6-game DraftKings slate we got today. It would actually help if I go ahead and get the damn site up. Boom! Over here on DraftKings. DraftKings today, starting out a little bit different today in regards to going over everything, but I just want to point out that once you guys see this video, pause it, go over to DraftKings, reserve your entry into the $4. It is $4 for 100K to first for today's slate. Go ahead and just jump into it. Try it out. Drop $5 on DraftKings if you ain't got none over there, and just play a lottery ticket. It's cool. Just go ahead and check it out. But yeah, that's what they got going on for DraftKings today. We got the $4, pretty much 100K to first contest for the 6-game slate that we got over here. And I definitely do believe that if you guys are not in it already, you definitely do need to go ahead, come on over here to DraftKings and play it, because it's a lottery ticket. It's simple. Just go ahead and do it. All right. Outside of that, real quick, some other housekeeping to go over. Last night, as always, like I said, I go ahead and I post the game specs over here on the Twitter. I've also been posting my boy Easy. He's been promoting Sport Quack. It's a site that that he's partnered with, and he's been posting some props and stuff that they have over there. So definitely check some of those things out if you guys have not already. Last night's game stack, we missed by 1 just due to the fact that James Harden, the Thunder, we blew them out. I was hoping the game would actually been closer than what it was. Harden, he was rolling. I want to say he went into the half with 7 RA. Came out the half, ended up being more of a scorer. Paul George, Kawhi, no one else really could get it going. Zubac was getting blocked left and right. A lot of the assists that Harden could have got to get him there did not pan out. But everyone else, boom, boom, boom. My Thunder, they did their thing. Zubac, of course, the matchup centers going up against the Thunder. Easy day right there. Still going to continue to attack that matchup right there. But hey, I personally, I say I didn't like too many game stacks when I was looking at the slate. I feel like the props, they were just juiced up just a little bit too high, and then some of them were just they were just right. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel like there was an edge, so I only put out one game stack. And I asked, I was like, hey, what game stack do you guys want for today? But hopefully today we can go back and do it again. I did post some college basketball, went 2 for 2. Well, 2 for 4. Sorry, 2 for 4, 50%. Still not bad. I'm gonna continue to post some college basketball plays whenever I see anything that sticks out that definitely looks good. I will definitely drop those up there, along with the NHL. I did play again last night, and I myself personally, I went 4 out of 6 for the props that I did post for NHL. So definitely will continue to post and do those things right there. All right, heading over to RotoWire, looking at the injury report that we got today. There are 9 games. Well, no, 9, 10. There are 10 games on today's slate, but there are 4 games that are at 10 p.m. that start late. You got the Hornets, Golden State, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Denver, Portland, San Antonio, and the Lakers. So all these games are going to be late night games. Really, DraftKings and their infinite wisdom, they have done it again. They're giving us 7:30 until 8 p.m. tonight. Those are the games that we will focus on, and I don't mind it. It definitely is something that I do enjoy whenever they break up the slate. Someone like that. We can get all the injury news that we need to for some of these earlier slates, which are actually pretty good. Hopefully, you guys had a pretty good day yesterday in regards to the NBA being back. Hopefully, you guys did cash out. Hopefully, the video actually got you guys a little something, something. Because I'm telling you the truth, half the stuff that I talked about in the video, by the time lock came, I swear everything changed with the injury news and just people being out. It was definitely a scramble a little bit for me towards the end, but was able to get it going. All right. Injury report, Toronto, nothing new for them. They played last night. We don't got to worry about that. Atlanta, they're going to be without Aneko Okongwu. Hopefully that will solidify Clint Capella's minutes, and we see a decent run for Clint. As we do know, Clint and Okongwu, they were splitting that time, playing about roughly 24, 25-ish minutes, depending on who got hot, who foul trouble, things like that. Hopefully we don't have to worry about that. Yesterday, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, he was out, so hopefully he does actually get to play today. They lost to the Magic, so I would actually hope that Donovan is back, because they do look 10 times better with Donovan than they did without Donovan being out there. Philly, they're without Robert Covington, Joel Embiid still, Tyrese Maxey, Buddy Hield, Tobias Harris, Batum, Paul Reed, same old for them. Definitely Paul Reed should have his hands full trying to deal with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. That should be a tough matchup for him right there. Miami, the Pelicans back in of a back-to-back. Tyler Hero, game time decision. Josh Richardson out. Terry Rozier, he's out still as well. For the Pelicans, BI, he was out last night, so we got pretty much kind of somewhat chalk Zion, and he paid off. Same thing for CJ McCollum. Hopefully BI will be back today. It was just an illness yesterday, so definitely we have to pay attention to that injury news right there. The Suns taking on Houston. They got their asses clapped last night by the Dallas Mavericks. They ended up coming back and winning that game. Was really happy about that. Bradley Beal, game time. Well, not game time decision. Bradley Beal is going to be out for some time with that hamstring. And then Damian Lee, he's still out, so it should be the same old starters for them. And then for the Houston Rockets, Tari Easton's out. Freddie V is back with that starting lineup. Washington Wizards played last night. Looked like they actually gave Denver a decent run for the money. But coming down here to OKC, we should go ahead and clap their asses as well. Thunder, no news for them, except for I recently just seen a tweet saying that we released Alexis Pokumashevsky. So we have an empty roster spot again. I don't know what we're going to sign or who we're going to put right there. For the Clippers, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, no news for the Clippers. I would be surprised if Paul George or Kawhi rest. There's no real need for them to rest or anything like that. Then on the Memphis side, Jaren Jackson Jr. game time decision, main one that we got to know about. But Clark, Bane, Pippen, Smart, all those guys are out. They've been out for a minute. Should be the same old thing that we were seeing before the All-Star break, of course. More minutes for G.G. Jackson, things like that, for those guys that were giving us a pretty good run. And that's it. Those are the 6 games that we got actually focused on for today's slate and what it's going to come down to on today. So heading over to DraftKings, like I said in the beginning of the intro, if you guys don't got an account, check the link down in the description below and go ahead and get your guys that deposit match bonus and join me over here on DraftKings. Really great site to play on. I do enjoy the contest. And as you can see, whenever they post things like this, $4 to be able to flip that 4 and possibly have a chance to win 100K. I understand if you max it out, sure, so on, so whatever. We're not worried about maxing. You know, the true way that I like to play, I play single entry GPPs is what I actually play over here. And you have better chance in cashing in that. But always just go ahead and throw my lottery ticket in because you never know what'll happen and you never know if you can win it. All right, so first game on the dot, we got Toronto taking on the Atlanta Hawks. So Toronto Raptors, like I said, they're on back and back-to-back. Looking at them, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Quickly, Poto, the starting 5, Gary Trent Jr., all of them, they're in play going up against the Hawks. We know they're a fast-paced team, weak defense. If I got to rank them, if anything, I don't mind going right back to Quickly. Went out last night, 44.5 fantasy points going up against the Hawks. We know they bleed points to opposing point guards. Easy day right there. Scotty Barnes went out there, had a double-double last night. Only played 31 minutes. Not bad. Not dishing the rock like he was early in the season, but the rebounds, they're definitely there, and going up against a Hawks team that can actually give up a pretty decent amount of rebounds to the power forward position. I do like the upside for him here at the 8.8 price tag. A decent mid-tier stud that you can actually pay for. Same thing I said last night. I don't mind going right back to him right here. RJ Barrett, that's going to be the GP option over here for me. Not anything that really sticks out, pokes out that I want to get to. But Gary Trent at 4.3, starting, going up against the Hawks. Fast-paced team. I know he's going to get the shots. He's going to get the looks. And if he can ride that hot hand that he had last night, 9 of 12 from the field, 25 points, 2 assists, a rebound. I don't mind that going into this matchup again versus the Hawks, especially at that 4.3 price tag. That is way too cheap for a starter of his caliber going up against a weak defense. That's a really great value that's just sticking out, poking out right there to me, that I definitely don't mind going to. And then last but not least for me is going to be Jakob. Keeps himself out of foul trouble. I don't mind going to him. 26 minutes last night, dropped 29.75 fantasy points. Not bad at all to me. I know that Scotty, he can come down and play small ball 5, things like that. They do have Kelly Olynyk to back that up. But Kelly off the bench and Bruce Brown, I'm not going to be too interested in either one of these guys. Vets, I really don't see them playing too many minutes. I would think they're going to be developing their young guys, which it seems like that is going to be the movement moving forward for these guys. Over here on the Atlanta side, of course, as always, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. If you can't get up to Trae, DeJounte, second fiddle, don't mind coming down to him. Should be a good matchup either way for either one of those guys. We've just seen Cam Thomas last night. He lit up, even though they lost, he lit up the Toronto Raptors and did pretty well out there as well. With Onyeka Okongwu being out, we will get Clint starting. But remember, Clint went down before the All-Star break, and he was out for quite some time. Okongwu was the starter originally, and then Okongwu went down, and then they started Bruno. Clint should still get his burn, should get his run, but I would imagine they're going to be ramping him back up since he is coming back from injury. I understand the All-Star break, all those things, but I would imagine maybe we see sub 20. I'll say sub 20 for Clint Capella right now. I would be surprised if he hits 25, but that will leave Bruno Fernando into contention as a player that we can actually go to and play on today for a 4. Pretty cheap price tag. We have attack with opposing centers going up against Toronto Raptors. I will continue to do that. Not a bad spot at all, especially if Clint is going to be limited. Definitely have to pay attention to the coach speak and see if we see anything on that. Outside of that, Jalen Johnson, don't mind going to him as well. One of the more favorable players. You guys know he is my DFS darling. If I land on him, I actually don't mind going ahead and just playing him. Decent spot. The upside is definitely there for him. But I will say, with DeAndre Hunter being back, he's playing off the bench. And before the break, he was rolling. He was getting it back. If they put him back into the starting lineup, I would be surprised if he gets his place back from Sadiq Bey, because they have been starting Bey. But if they were to start DeAndre Hunter at 4.9, I definitely will be having a little bit of that for the price tag, because literally he does the exact same thing Sadiq Bey does, but is 1K cheaper. And definitely the defense, the upside that he brings, the blocks, the steals, things like that, is really really there for him. Over on the Cleveland side, if Donovan Mitchell is going to be out again, then the three players that I'm going to focus on once again will be Isaac Okoro. He should be back in the starting lineup. 3,500. I will take that all day, every day. Played him last night since he was starting. 30 minutes, dropped 21 fantasy points. Great value right there at the price tag. I'll go right back to it. Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, I do like the upside for him simply because they are running him as the backup 5 finally. They are letting him split the time at the center position with Jared Allen, and it's been paying off, and it looks good, and it's been working. So if Donovan Mitchell is going to be out again, I will have some interest in Okoro, Mobley, and of course Darius Garland. He is going to be the point guard. Ball will be in his hand, and took him a minute, but he was able to get his rhythm and find his way towards the end of the game. The upside would definitely be there, especially at 6'3". We know he's more of a 7K, close up to 8K price tag of a player. If Donovan Mitchell is in and he's fine and he's good to go, definitely be a GPP option. You can definitely go there, but not a must play. And it kind of lowers the value on all the other Cavs if he's actually going to be in. But I will say I might take a chance still on Evan Mobley with or without Donovan Mitchell if he's going to be in. On the Philly side over here, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Buddy Hield, Kelly Oubre, Paul Reed, starting lineup for them. Out of this whole starting 5, I'll say Buddy Hield to me is a bounce back candidate for a big game again. Dropped 30.5 fantasy points, and I say bounce back because he was dropping 40s and been doing much better since he's been over here for them. I don't mind going back to Buddy. Definitely be an option to me. But outside of that, Tyrese Maxey, not really looking to pay that much for his price tag, especially now that they have Kyle Lowry to come in, back him up. Things of the nature. Definitely is going to be getting those minutes. Kelly Oubre, GP option, and they had Kelly come off the bench yesterday. So not really going to be too interested in Kelly, especially at that 6'3" price tag. Outside of that, Tobias Harris, I don't really like the matchup, especially going into the double big matchup. Not really a favorable one to me. So if I take anything from over here, it'll be Buddy Hield. He'll be the main one that sticks out to me if I want anything over there from the 76ers side. The Clippers taking on Memphis. This should be a bounce back game for the Clippers. Now, again, Memphis, they have done well with their mixing cast that they've had. They've kept games close. They've actually won some games that they shouldn't have won while they've missed all these players. With that being said, over here for the Clippers side, like I always say every single time, look at the ownership of the big 3. Whoever is lowest owned is the one I will take the chance on, because to me, they all have a GPP upside of being able to pop off. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, like all of them can go out there and drop 40 to 50 plus fantasy points. That's why I always say the GPP option in regards to them. Zubac, I don't mind going to him 5'4". I know he was pretty frustrated last night with all the blocks that he was getting on himself. I don't mind going to him. The price tag 5'4", that's pretty decent, especially if he can actually see 30-ish minutes again on tonight. He should be going up against a smaller Jaren Jackson Jr. if Jaren Jackson Jr. is actually going to be starting. That's going to be great. That's not a bad matchup at all for Zubac to be able to go out there and power and get some easy buckets or some rebounds, things like that. Going up against Memphis Grizzlies, as we know, they're kind of living in the paint right now in regards to a lot of their scoring that they're doing with all those players being out. Outside of that, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Again, like I said, just look at the ownership, figure out which one's going to be lower owned. That's the one I would rather ride with. Right now, the one that's sticking out to me is going to be Kawhi Leonard. Especially, again, I like going to Kawhi. Pretty consistent, the scoring, the rebounding, and also just the defensive upside. I will continue to ride that right there with Kawhi. I definitely can see a world in regards to going to James Harden or Paul George, but Kawhi's going to be the main one I want to get to over there for them. Over on the Memphis side, depending on who actually starts and who they actually roll out, will just dictate what to go with. But if Goodwin is going to be starting 5'1", not a bad price tag, I don't mind going to that. We know he's going to get a decent run, especially between him and Gilliard. That should be the backup point guard, unless they decide to do the funkiness they were doing before with Luke Kennard getting some of the ball handling duties, or John Conchar. It's really just a point guardish by committee thing over here with them, especially since their main point guards have been out and unable to play. So over here, if Jaren Jackson Jr. is in, GPP option, not a must for me, especially just the matchup. The Clippers, they will be looking to bounce back after that ass beating that they got last night. Besides that, Vince Williams Jr. been consistent, very consistent. The high uses that he has, 48 fantasy points right before the break, going up against Milwaukee. And I know I say Milwaukee like Milwaukee something pretty, but they're not. I forget that. But Vince Williams Jr., 7K, don't mind him, especially if Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be out. Then his projection, everything should go up for him, the floor, all that jazz. So Vince Williams Jr., really great play right there. And then outside of that, you can't mess with the Sante Aldamas, but understand that he has a low floor. GG Jackson, if everyone's going to be back and he's not going to be starting, another one that's a GPP option, you can definitely play him off the bench, but not a must. And then Goodwin, his minutes should be solidified between him and Gilliard, and not a bad play. Over here on the Washington side, taking on my Thunder, Kuzma, Denny, Tyus, Jordan Poole, Marvin Bagley, that should be our starting five that we see out there. I'll say Marvin Bagley, I do have some interest in him, just because athletic bigs, they actually seem to play very well going up against the Thunder. And Bagley, centers, period, they've done well. Rebounding should be there for him. The putbacks, things like that. Don't mind going to Bagley at all as a possible play against Chet. Outside of that, Denny Avnia, the role that this kid has been on, I want to go right back to it. I understand last night, Denver, he's going up against Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. Those are tough defenders for him to go up against. I doubt that he is going to have to deal with the Lou Dort matchup. I would imagine he gets the Josh Giddey matchup. That's why I actually have some interest in going to Denny Avnia until they pull Josh and they decide to go with something else. But a really good bounce back spot in a GPP option. Same thing for Kyle Kuzma. Both of them are not must plays that you have to have in your line, but definitely some GPP options that we can get to. Outside of that, really just the main play that I would want to play will be Marvin Bagley, be the main guy that I do like. Over here on the OKC Thunder, Shea, Chet, J-Dub, all those guys in contention in play. Dort, GPP option, Aaron Wiggins, GPP, and then Isaiah Joe. As we seen last night, they started Joe over Giddey in the second half of the game. Only still went out there and dropped 13 fantasy points, which was kind of crazy considering he played 19 minutes, but definitely another GPP option you can go to. But I will say I will stick with the main guys. SGA, top tier, top play for me right there over here on my team. Chet be the second one, and then J-Dub is going to be the last one down here for me. Love what I seen from them last night. They came out rolling, and they pummeled the Clippers, especially in the second half. That defense was legit. So I do love the upside for all three of them. And then we already know Washington, they play no defense. Lackluster team, should be an easy day for them coming out here. Miami taking on the Pelicans. Jimmy Butler, he's back from the death in his family. Hopefully he comes out good. This is one of those matchups that I would imagine Jimmy should be able to play up for. I don't mind going to Jimmy. He's had extensive days off. Hopefully he doesn't have too much rust out there. 7-7. Jimmy is an 8K, close to low 9-tier player. Getting him at 7-7, especially with a questionable Tyler Hero. If Hero's going to be out, ball handling duties, that definitely can fall into Jimmy Butler's hand. I do love the upside for him here at that. If Tyler Hero is going to be out, then Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler, one of those guys I think will be a staple as a play you can go to. Same thing for, I can add Jaime Jaquez into that realm because I would imagine Jaime would get slid into the starting lineup as well along with them. Outside of that, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Kevin Love, all GPP options. If they start Jovic, if Tyler Hero was to be out or anything like that, and they decide to start Jovic into the starting lineup, I will say I will have a pretty heavy GPP interest in him. Last start that he got 30 minutes, he dropped 41.75 fantasy points. That's the main reason, because I do know he's a very good fantasy point per minute player when he is out there on the court. For the Pelicans, taking on the Pelicans on the other side, if BI's back, that's kind of going to lower the interest in Zion and CJ McCollum. But if he's out, Zion, CJ, top tier, love going right back to them. Herb Jones, he popped off. I want to say it was Herb. Herb, 37 minutes, dropped 44.25 fantasy points in 48 minutes. Not bad. I do not expect the same thing, the same performance for him here. As you can see, he got there, 7 steals. Subtract 14 fantasy points, goes back down to about 30-ish, which is kind of sort of the ceiling that we normally get from Herb. But definitely at 4.8, I could definitely see going with G Herbo, but not a staple, not a must, especially if BI is actually back. He's going to get his shots and things like that will go right back to him. Out of the 3 big main players over here, CJ McCollum will be the best one that I would take if BI is actually going to get back. But if he's going to be out, then we will have to have interest in Zion, CJ, and then some of the other players like Trey Murphy and Herb Jones will definitely pique the interest. Phoenix Suns taking on the Houston Rockets. Same thing over here. Bradley Beal, if he's going to be out, they're going to start Eric Gordon. I will have some interest in Eric Gordon at 4.8. I will say they closed yesterday with Royce O'Neal. So Royce O'Neal definitely ticking up in regards to some interest for me at 4.1. I do love the upside. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually would go ahead and just start Royce, because you can move Grayson Allen up to the 2 position. And you can put Royce in as your small forward. And you can, of course, run KD at the power forward like normal. Like, definitely, I think that'll give you a defensive upside. And they kind of waited a little bit too late to me in regards to actually pulling the plug and doing that with the line. But Royce O'Neal, 4-1. Just put him in your player pool. Really decent play, especially there's not going to be any Bradley Beal. I'd imagine he's still out with that hamstring, nose, blah blah blah, hamstring issue. So I wouldn't imagine Bradley Beal will be playing tonight. But if he is back, then it's going to lower the value in regards to like Eric Gordon. Royce, I still do feel like he should still get his run. They did run a small lineup to close the game yesterday, like I said, so I don't mind looking at him as an option. KD, D Book, either one of those guys, I would imagine going with D Book over Kevin Durant. Matchup, nothing really sticks out matchup wise for them. Houston, they actually play very well at home, so I kind of give this one to Houston either way. Houston on their side, Shengo, don't mind going to him, 8-5, decent price tag. Last time we seen him play, which was of course last night going up against the Pelicans, he dropped 35.25 fantasy points in 27 minutes. So if he's going to actually get his minutes, again, that game last night blew out, then don't mind going to him. Plays a little bit better with Freddie V being out there. Outside of that, Amin Thompson, I'm about to say, I want to make sure I actually said the name right. He's still getting his minutes. He's still getting his burn. They have correctly priced him in that 6K price range. He's a GPP option, not something that I am going to be tripping myself over to get to. I will rather come down here, go ahead and play my Jabari Smith Jr. or the $100 more that I need to get to, play Freddie V. Play Freddie V. He's going to bounce. He's going to pop off at low ownership, and no one's going to have him in one of these matchups. And if Freddie can go out here and do what we just seen Luka or Kyrie do last night, chef's kiss. Be beautiful. But Amin Thompson, I do see the upside for him. GPP option, not something that you have to trip and fall to go ahead and get to by any means, but definitely a decent option that you can go to. Dylan Brooks, Cam Whitmore, all these guys, GPP options down here. Main staple, like I said, is going to be in this range right here. I've never been a Jalen Green player or supporter, so that's going to be it for me right there. All right, guys, that's going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and look at some props. Today's going to be Flex Friday for Prize Picks. If you guys don't got the account for that, the link for that is down in the description below as well. I will be dropping the Flex Friday. Hopefully get that video up before I have to leave the house here in a little bit. So definitely be on the lookout for that right there. Hopefully you guys enjoy the NBA being back. Good luck to everybody. Smash it, kill it, crush it. Peace.